Relentless rain pouring over an already saturated central Texas. The region already devastated, hit with another round of dangerous flash floods over the weekend.
Yeah, we're not going nowhere. We're stuck.
Prompting dozens of emergency high water rescues like this one. In Lampasas County, this river reaching over 33 feet in just a few hours. Thankfully, no more deaths reported despite the powerful currents. The rain's still expected to continue into the evening, keeping the entire hill country on edge. The region's still grappling amid the aftermath of a flood that killed more than 130 people statewide, including dozens of children.
Seeing that destruction every day, it hurts, you know? Just knowing what these families are going through as a mother that's lost a child myself, it's hard. And I always say that the community has the privilege of moving on past a tragedy like this, but parents that lose children are burdened.
Now more questions are being raised about whether local officials could have done more to warn those in the flood zone. Kerrville city manager telling me he's unsure if he received an alert on his phone from the National Weather Service.
Did either of you receive those alerts as well?
You know, I haven't even looked at my phone from the National Weather Service side. I actually think I have my weather report stuff turned off, if I'm being honest.
I mean, you're the city manager.
No.
Why would you have your weather alerts turned off?
Because one, with my family, with, first responders, and again, I'm in it every single day. My phone stays on 24 hours, 7 days a week. We're in constant communication with emergency responders.
Saying he has dedicated teams in place to handle weather updates.
We make sure that we have redundancy built in to be able to navigate these very complex, very challenging situations. So whether my stuff is on or not is really a moot point because we have teams of experts that can navigate these and that help us do our jobs.
FEMA records obtained by our station in Dallas show officials in Kerr County did not send wireless alerts with safety instructions, like whether to evacuate or wait for rescue when flooding began. City leaders say they have yet to review their response, as we are still not getting clear answers on if and when alerts went out.
Within the city of Kerrville, who has the authority to push out an alert in an emergency?
So ultimately, we have that delegation of authority. So I use the delegation of authority as we put the right people in the right place to give them the authority to make those decisions.
And what person would that be?
So ultimately, it's me.
And do we know if a city alert was pushed out on the morning of July 4th?
Like I said, when you talk about delegation of authority, we pass that authority on to, emergency professionals, emergency preparedness.
But you said the authority was yours, so I'm just curious, did you issue one?
Yeah, so I did not, but that does not mean that something did or did not get issued. I don't know.
Adding that a city warning could go out without the city manager knowing. State lawmakers tell me they're also looking for ways to better alert hill country campgrounds and summer camps in the future.
I'm going to be requesting that some of the cell phone companies, work on putting towers in that area for future. I think that's going to make a big difference because we didn't have communication with a bunch of the camps.
So for many of these camps, the only way they have to communicate with authorities is cell service. And once that goes down, they're more or less cut off.
Yeah.
I want to bring in Morgan Chesky, who is joining us now from Kerr County. Morgan, we're glad to have you bring us those interviews, those series of questions that you put to these state and local officials here. When you talk about the camps, there's been a lot of attention on those camps, given just the disaster, the nightmare that so many parents are living through now with the ones who sent their kids. Talk us through sort of where that goes, what else we're learning about what kind of comms these camps had.
Yeah, Hallie, as far as communications with the camps, that's still very much one of the big questions here that I think authorities are trying to figure out as well. That state representative told me that he has been in contact with multiple camps, and it appears, at least early on, that the only way they had to communicate with authorities as that storm moved in, as those floodwaters rose, were cell phones, adding that, unfortunately, cell service was at least temporarily knocked out when that river surged down from the headwaters to Hunt and then to Kerrville. one of the things that we've been hearing as well is that when people were stranded by those floodwaters up and down the river, they weren't able to communicate. And that is why going forward, there is a lot of discussion already about how to improve that service, whether emergency comms such as satellite phones or anything of that nature can be fully explored here, Hallie. I think one of the frustrating parts is that there are still a lot of unknowns at this point in time that people are hoping to find out sooner than later, especially when that special session starts come soon. Hallie?
Morgan, I can see that it looks, if not sunny, at least it's not pouring rain behind you here. We know that there are more than 100+ people whose bodies have still not been recovered in the state of Texas, around the state after the July 4th flooding. Has the recovery been able to resume today? Have you seen crews out there actively? Is that happening?
Yeah, Hallie, we have seen crews, dive crews as well, going into the water, although I should add that it is still high right now because we had a lot of rain overnight. We know that if not here in Kerrville, there have been flood watches issued across much of the hill country. And so there is certainly a tension being felt right now. We're not anticipating the kind of rain that, of course, led to this disaster, but even a little bit, Hallie, that can get these crews out of the water is just slowing down this ongoing search for, as you mentioned, so many people still missing. Hallie.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.